Today I'm doing a guitar lesson for one of my favorite Ween songs, I Don't Want It, off of Quebec. One of my favorite albums and one of my favorite songs, period. The guitar solo in this is really special, and the song itself is great. Now, if you want to play along with the album, fair warning, it's about a half step up from standard tuning. When they play it live, it's in standard, but on the album, it sounds like this. Whereas when they play it live in standard, it's... So that's just a fair warning. So let's get into that main riff and the rest of the parts for the song. So that's going to be a G chord, but it's up here like an open D. So that's just, on the 7th, 8th, and 7th on the top 3 strings with the open D there. So then you slide down to a regular open D, and then you kind of do this. So you go, so you add in that suspension, that 3rd fret of the high E. You kind of use that to transition to the E minor. It's an E minor chord just with the 3rd fret of the high E on there. So, and then you go to an open C, and then you do that again. Once you get into the verse, it's open G, then C. Now, what I like to do for the C is I kind of like to mimic the vocal melody just because I think it sounds nice. I don't know if they're doing that on the album, but I like to do this. So that's just going from the open high E string, then muting the D string with my ring finger, and then using my middle finger on the 2nd, and then my pinky on the 3rd of the high E string. You don't have to do that, I just think it sounds good. And then I like to sort of go back to the open after that. But after that, so that's just, and you can also sort of arpeggiate that. You want to get that sus in there either way, but you definitely want to go back between those notes. And that's pretty much it for the verse. Then for, I guess you would call it the either pre-chorus or just the chorus, we end from there on the verse. Back to the main riff and then the next verse. So all together, after ending on the verse, we go into this D7, which is just D major, but with the 1st fret on the B string. Open G, A minor, then over to D. When they play that A minor, I kind of think that they're throwing in the open G string to make it an A minor 7. But if you want to, I'm not quite sure if they're doing that, so if you want to just be safe about it, you can just play A minor either way. Then you do that again. Then C. You want to kind of arpeggiate it a little bit. Throw that in there. You 3rd to the open on the high E with your pinky. Pull off there. And then we get back to the main riff. much all of the parts for the song other than the solo. I guess I can show you how it ends, which it just ends on that riff. Just end on that open G. Now, we can get into the solo. So, it starts up here. Well, there's a lot of noise in the solo. It's a very distorted guitar tone. So you could start with like a feedback swell. You can maybe, you know, hit a harmonic here on one of the like on the 5th or the 7th fret or even the 12th. I kind of like to go on the 5th fret because I like the super high harmonics there. You just hit whatever kind of noisy harmonics you want to swell up with your volume. So it starts up there on the 12th fret of the G, go down on the 14th fret of the D, give that little bend in there. So that phrase. A lot of this solo, I'm just going to tell you, it's really dependent on your feel. And I know it's like, well, what's the point of trying to teach me the solo if you're just going to tell me it's based on feel? But, you know, it's important to know what notes to hit and how to bend them. But how you express it really depends on you as a player. So, like, sometimes I like to go, you know, but sometimes I like to throw in a couple extra hits in there. Whereas, but either way, you definitely want to sort of hammer on to that from the 12th to the 14th. And then from the 14th to the 11th and 12th on the G. Add a little vibrato in there if you want, or not. Some notes really need vibrato. Some I don't think you need it. But you know, again, your tendencies as a player are really what are important about this solo. So starting the 12th of the G. And then you hammer on to the 14th of the A. So what you could do this, but I don't think it's what he's doing is, well, you want to do that. And then you sort of do that whole thing again. So, you know, doing that whole thing up to there. You slide up to the 14 on the G. Now this, I think, is absolutely important that you add the vibrato. I don't like to go that crazy. I like to go crazy on it sometimes, but I don't want to do it too much. You know, just you want to sustain that note for as long as you can is the really important part. I like to throw in a little extra hit in there just to make the note go on a little longer. And then we get into the 15th fret on the A. You just kind of gently want to hit that and, you know, make it sing along with that note, right? So, and then make it kind of stand alone as you go. So you don't want to just go. You don't want to do that. You want to make it, maybe make him sing it first and then let that one sing on its own. Like that. And then we do a bend on the 12th of the B. So half step there. I like to do it with my first finger. it's just hammer on, pull off, then slide down. Pick those. So I like to slide up very quickly on that one. So rather than just going, I like to go. I don't know what he's doing on the record, but I again, that's how I think the vibe is, you know, when I play it. So, full step bend there. Then get back up here on the 13th fret of the E. And basically do that phrase again. You could do that as a bend the second time around, or you could do the hammer-on pull-off thing. I think he might be doing the hammer-on pull-off thing both times on the recording, but you could also do it. I do think he's definitely bending up that second time. Whether or not he's doing, that's a little weird, but definitely at least doing. So after that, you go. So that's so you could throw a couple little extra hits in there on that, or he could also be doing. I'm not quite sure, but it, you know, doesn't really matter. And then full step there. Full step there, and then full step another one up on the 15th. With some vibrato, that's very important. Then come back down. The timing on that is, it's a little weird, but it's, you know... That's just a series of hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides. So that's... So you don't hammer on and pull off anything until you get down here. Then it's just the same pattern, just, you know, different frets. So up to that point, pick everything. Slide back down there, and you add some vibrato to that. When he plays it, he kind of gets up there and goes the octave up on the, what is that? That's 15, 17, like 20th fret of the B string. Now, what I like to do personally is, but you know, making that stretch from the. You know, once again, maybe kind of letting both of those notes sing at the same time, but I know it's not everybody's favorite thing in the world to make that stretch. It's just a weird habit I've developed while playing the solo to do that. But yeah, live performance especially and stuff, you definitely see him making that slide. And after the solo's sort of done, he kind of like hits the guitar or something, and it's just like... It just sort of makes some like noise. It's very powerful. I guess that's pretty much it. I love this song, love this solo. Man, I know Jeaner, if I'm being, you know, on a technical level, he's not the world's greatest guitar player, but I think this solo goes to show that, no disrespect to Diener. Diener's also given me some of my favorite solos and all that, but this solo is definitely, I mean, it's impressive. It speaks to how good Jeaner is at emoting on an instrument, on the guitar. Even if you can't really, you know, do all the shreddy stuff that Diener can, it's amazing that he can emote like this. It's one of my favorite solos, and I think it is fantastic. And I really hope that you enjoyed learning it. I hope I taught you everything that you need to know about this song, because it is a great one. Have a good day.